Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, I'm Dan Maurice.
And this is WWE Hall of Famer, Mr. USA, Tony Atlas.
Tony, the fans might have missed you back on January 19th. We had a little bit of snow in the Boston area, but you're going to be back Friday night, March the 1st, right here at MWF Studios. We want the fans to come down. Admission is free.
Yes, and not only that, Boston Media is the best, is the beast of the East. SOS, simply out of sight. Often imitated, but never duplicated.
I don't think anyone could duplicate what you and I created.
No, because it's raw.
Because I'll tell you this, there's many...
No strip, just say what we think, say what we mean. It's raw.
Many people tried to copy what we did with the Iron Sheik in this studio, and they were never able to get the recipe right, so to speak.
Right. The original is always better than the rest.
Absolutely. Tony will also be available for autographs and pose photos for a nominal fee. And again, while admission is free, we want you to come on down to the TV studio. Whether you're in Boston or anywhere around the world, we need as much fan support as possible. We have great items for sale on BostonWrestling.com. We're starting to use eBay more. The more fans that participate in getting these shows produced, the more Tony will be here. I know, Tony, our goal has been to try and get you here on a weekly basis if the fans will support.
Yes, you know, and one thing about Boston Media that it does for a lot of us legends, Vince does a lot for us, but he keeps us undercover a lot. But with Boston Media, you can get to see Tony, you get to see the Iron Sheik, you can get to see the Tito Santana, and come and meet us live and listen to some of our stories, because some of the things that we did in our younger days, a lot of it being legal today, first of all.
Very true.
But it was a different world, and I was lucky to see the old world and see the coming of the new world.
WWE isn't going to produce a 3-DVD set for every superstar they ever had under contract. That's why these types of shows are so important, especially where we lose so many legends on a yearly basis. So again, we send out the invitation to you Friday night, March the 1st, right here at MWF Studios, Melrose, Massachusetts. Check out BostonWrestling.com for complete event information. Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, I'm Dan Maurice.
And I'm WWE Hall of Famer, Mr. USA, Tony Atlas.
We want to wish you a happy Valentine's Day, and what interesting content as we take some of your questions after we catch up on the latest news.
He is the People's Champion, the Brahma Bull, the Great One. And this,
finally, The Rock has come back,
is his story. Journey alongside the millions in this definitive guide to
the most electrifying man in sports and entertainment.
see The Rock
It's just a man
like you've never seen him before.
But The Rock is cooking.
The World of The Rock. Available now.
Wrestling fans, check out the brand new lapel pin from our friends at Crimson Mask. Inspired by Stone Cold Steve Austin and Vince McMahon, it's Bang! $3.16. Only $8 each or 2 for $12. If you think it makes a great holiday gift, give me a hell yeah. Get yours today at crimsonmask.bigcartel.com.
This is Mick Foley.
This is Harley Race.
This is Shelton Benjamin.
This is Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff.
This is the Monster Abyss.
And this is Daniel Bryan.
This is JBL, and you're watching the MWF.
Be there live.
Hey, Hunter.
Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, welcome to another installment of Wrestling Insiders. I'm Dan Maurice, joined by social media's favorite, Dave Carter. He was taking pictures from every angle, for every different
Absolutely,
platform.
got to keep those selfie games up, you know.
He gets more requests than you don't even want to know.
Oh, yeah.
The road to WrestleMania has begun. We're excited about heading to WrestleCon without Tony Atlas, WrestleMania weekend. We'll talk more about that, as that always puts a smile on my face. If you see this before Friday night, March the 1st, join us here in studio Mr. USA, Tony Atlas, will be taping Memories and Legends live. The admission, it's just like Reno Chastain's meals, absolutely free.
Absolutely.
All right, what do we got
Can't beat
now?
that.
Hannah? What do we got? I'm
got-
ready to talk wrestling.
We got Raw from Atlanta, Georgia.
Atlanta.
Ric Flair's 70th birthday. What a Raw it was. It was a great Raw. Probably one of the best we've seen in a while. We kicked it off with the returning Roman Reigns, which we had good news. His leukemia is in remission now. I thought that was really good.
That was a nice segment. I liked that.
I thought it was too. I thought the whole segment was perfect. Then at the end, having Seth come out, not during it, at the end, so they could just hug and stuff. I thought that was really cool. And the crowd's really behind him now, which obviously good, but you know what I mean? I thought it was really nice to see.
That'll change after he's back a while.
Yeah, I would think so
Would be my
too.
guess.
Yeah, me too. It depends how they book him, I guess, right? I don't know if you want to talk anything about it or you have anything to say.
Again, I thought it was a nice segment. You know, obviously everyone's happy that he's healthy. Even if he couldn't return to the ring, I think the most important thing is most people would want to see the man healthy. And he's got a lot to contribute. Could there be a spot for him on WrestleMania 35? Could it shake up the lineup? In some cases, a non-existent lineup where there's been so much that hasn't been poured in concrete yet. But we're going to talk more about that in the different episodes, what's been going on behind the scenes with WWE. I look forward to him coming back. I've always been a big fan of his. As far as his character goes, I enjoy his matches and his wrestling. As far as his character goes, I wish it would be tweaked a little bit where he's just a little bit more intense, a little bit angrier, and speaks in shorter syllables.
Absolutely. I get it.
One man's opinion.
No, I get it. I get totally what
But
you're
I
saying.
never, as far as my, I guess enjoyment would be the word of watching him wrestle, that never went away from me like it did some fans. And I guess that's what they say, it's everybody's opinion.
Yeah, I enjoy Roman
I've
too.
never not liked Roman.
Right,
I
me
just
either.
don't always care for the way he's presented.
Totally, I totally agree. I enjoy it. The first match we had was the NXT call-ups, Aleister Black and Ricochet versus the Revival. I mean, it was a decent match. Like, my opinion is, I don't know how you can have the tag team champions lose to the NXT guys right off the bat like that. I mean, I understand because they're trying to put NXT on the same level as a Raw and SmackDown, but at the same time, those belts are supposed to mean something, and when you have the Revival doing the job right on TV, I don't know, I feel like it's kind of mixed emotions on that. How do you...
Well, you know what? It may sound a little, I guess honest is the only way I can put it. The call-ups of all four of them is just laziness. They have enough guys on the roster right now, enough ladies. They just called up 6 fresh talents a month ago. There was no need to go to that point. That reeks of desperation booking. As far as having new talent laid down, as far as having the talent already on the roster laid down for them, if you want to give them a big push, it makes sense to have them do the jobs. To have them come out with graphics that say NXT, I think Ricochet has the potential to be one of the faces of WWE.
Absolutely.
I think Aleister Black has the best entrance in wrestling right now, with The Undertaker not a full-timer anymore. But at the same time, you know, how much thought was put into using them if they thought was to be a week after they came up, they were going to be doing tag team matches.
And you know, I put that in my notes, is what you just said. He has one of the best entrances, but when they came back from commercial, they were all in the ring already.
Yeah.
They didn't even show it. I was like, I don't get it. I mean, that to me, I just didn't understand that at all. But yeah, I totally agree. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Next was Elias, and then another call-up that hasn't done anything is Lacey Evans. She's been randomly coming out to the ring and then going back. I don't really understand what that's all about.
You know, the best way to put it with her is, I don't think she does a bad job with the character at all. It's just the character is very out of place on a wrestling show. Yeah. I have no interest in seeing that.
I wish they would say something
wish her
about
great luck.
Yeah. I mean, she's really good in the ring. She's a great worker. I just don't know what that is, what she's doing.
I've seen her in person a few times, and to be honest, she really didn't impress me.
She didn't? Okay.
But
well,
small sample size.
Okay. And then we had Dean come out. But you know what was weird? I just point this out. He came out with his old music at first.
Which one?
The first music, like not with the siren in the background. It was just his regular music.
The guitar riff?
Yeah.
And isn't he a baby face now?
But no, let me finish.
Oh.
And then once it was over, he came out with that music again, the siren. So I don't know if it was a mess up or anything. But anyways, he called out for the no DQ match against Drew. I thought it was a pretty good segment. I don't know. I like what they're doing kind of with Dean because they're giving him something. I don't know where it's going to lead to, but it's kind of interesting. Like the week before, because we missed Raw last week, I liked what he did. He came over to, when Seth was doing the backstage segment, he came over and goes, "Where were you?" And Seth is like, "Are you kidding me?" And he's like, rolled his eye. I don't know what you call what they're doing, but I kind of like it in a way because it's giving him something to do. He's not fighting Nia Jax.
The whole turn back in October, what did I say about Ricochet and Black?
Right.
Desperation booking. There was no reason to turn him heel. They had no plans for him once they turned him heel. They had nothing for him to do after he had a couple of matches with Rollins, and he was just kind of roaming around in a circle like he was Malachi Scott.
Yeah, I mean...
What did they get out of it?
Right, and the only
Nothing.
Do you think anything has to do with his contract, or do you think even if that's a work or not a work, do you
I
think...
still think there's more than meets the eye with that. I
Right.
think he'll get involved with Rollins or Reigns' WrestleMania match. And I think that'll be the way to get the shock out of it. Oh, he's leaving, and then not so much.
Not so much, yeah. I mean, I was thinking that too, just because WWE never talks about anybody's contract like that so far in advance. So, yeah, I kind of see what you're saying. The next match we had was the Riot Squad versus Natty and Ronda. It was actually a pretty good match. I mean, the girls are getting better.
It wasn't long.
It wasn't long. It was a pretty good match, I thought.
What
Becky,
was good about it?
it was just a good match. They had good. Spots were. I mean, I don't go over the match and put hold for hold because we don't even do it in the men's matches. But I
That's
thought it was a
true,
good
but
match.
no.
It was a good flow. It wasn't like how sometimes in matches we see like rest holds a lot and stuff like
Yeah,
that. They actually
yeah.
did some moves.
Well,
it was good.
Natalia's a ring general.
Right,
She
she's
knows
very
how
good.
to keep things moving in there.
And Ruby Riot's really good too. I think she's
No,
underrated.
she's not bad. I
mean,
don't cringe, but
I
Ronda
thought the
can
highlight
really
of the
be
match
hit or miss.
obviously is when Becky comes out of the crowd, and
No,
then just
that is just more of a waste of time.
see. I love it. I think Becky.
Well, it's great once, but when you do it every single week that she's breaking the rule of this suspension, and she continues to walk through the crowd with her crutches and attempt to get to ringside, it's old. It's stale.
I know. It's almost like they're trying to do what Stone Cold used to do, but they're forgetting how they did it. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's weird. All they have to do is go on their own network and check it out how they did it. I do agree with you on that. It is kind of so, but I do like it. I like her having probably the best gimmick in wrestling right now. It's fantastic. Even Stone Cold said it. I don't know if you heard Stone Cold. He was on a show.
You told me that he
Yeah,
said
he
that.
came out and said that's the best gimmick in wrestling right now. She's done a fantastic job, and it keeps him inclined to watch of what she's doing.
Well, what does that say about the current gimmicks in wrestling?
Hey, I mean, they're not writing for it.
That almost sounds like a knock on her. She's done excellent with the platform given to her, and you know what? That's a good thing for her. As far as my personal enjoyment, it really doesn't do it for me, but I'm happy that there are fans that like it.
Right. After that, we had Stephanie.
Okay, keep going.
After that, okay.
I
yeah.
wanted to. I had a few things I wanted to say about that. But go
Okay,
ahead.
yeah, we're going into that. After that, Stephanie came out. Then Ronda came back out, asked for the match and everything, get her reinstated and all that. Becky get reinstated. Then after that, she basically, laid the title down and walked away. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about that. I don't. I know you have
I think
probably a
it
good
made
opinion
the
on it.
fans want to see it less. The promo was horrible. It was.
You didn't like that quote? I even wrote it. The ginger douche in cuffs.
And no one reacted to it.
Because I don't think anybody knows what a douche is, which I think that's why she said that word instead of something else.
I was just expecting some kind of a reaction from someone, and it was flat.
You know why?
Stephanie really didn't sell it. The announcers really didn't sell it.
Well, that's-
Nobody sold it. So guess what? Nobody cared.
That and Becky's just so you can't do nothing wrong. Becky's the only person that gets a pop right now because everybody wants Becky.
A swear is going to get a reaction in this day and age when it's used so rarely.
But see, is a douche a swear? That's where we're nitpicking. Is it?
It's borderline offensive.
Right.
How about that?
Yeah. Oh,
It doesn't offend me, but
Right. No, I get it. I just thought.
But just her delivery is just so bad. She would benefit from having a manager with her.
Who would you think that would be good for, though?
I have no idea.
No, but. Well,
Paul Heyman, but he's not going to.
No,
He's
not
too
at all.
smart to be dragged into that nonsense that's going to blow up in their face eventually. And I don't know when it's coming, but I continue to believe there's going to be that night, similar to John Cena at SummerSlam 2005 in Washington, D.C., when a diehard group of fans in a big city like New York, Philadelphia, Chicago, Toronto, etc., turns on the entire division. And it's going to get ugly from there because they're so intertwined into every aspect of the company now. It's not like a one segment per week as it used to be when you could kind of camouflage it.
right.
They're over-involved, which is, I believe, part of the reason why so many fans continue to tune out.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. I get it. I get some things I don't understand. Some things I think last week was a bad crowd. Last week's crowd was a bad
And
crowd.
people
That was
said,
just a
they
bad
didn't
crowd.
react to the NXT guys. They really didn't react to anybody.
Right,
It was just
and-
kind of a flat group.
And just going back real quick before we go on, Michael Cole doesn't help the case either. He is terrible with these guys.
He is a huge reason why I believe fans.
He's just
have
like,
tuned
oh,
out.
Johnny Gargano, like, get excited about this, because if that was Stone Cold coming through the curtain, The Rock, he'd be like, Stone, you know what I mean? Get excited. These guys have a
He
reason
doesn't
to be.
even need to watch the match. He just
No.
needs to sit there. He could be in a broom closet, read his script,
Yeah.
and, play along with supposedly what's happening
Right.
out there. He's just, I've said before, he's good at voiceovers. He's really good at a sit-down interview session like
Yep.
this. As far as commentary, trying to get over the product, trying to get over wrestlers, trying to get over wrestling angles. He's one of the worst I've ever heard.
You know who I
For
really like?
WWE to go to from over the years, from when I started watching as a kid, from Monsoon to Vince to Jim Ross to that, it's an embarrassment. It is not good for their product.
Right.
The commentator is the salesman. The commentator is the one person
Sells the
that if
product.
they watch the entire show, the fan is going to be sitting with for 3 hours. And you have him, you have Renee Young throwing out her phony emphasis.
Renee.
Oh,
I like Renee and I like Corey. You know who's really
she
good?
gets worse by the week.
See, I don't think so.
Worse
I
by
think she
the
does
week.
well. I like Tom Phillips. I wish he could
He's
actually get
very good.
I think if he was on Raw, he'd be very good.
And
there.
I heard for the first time, I can't even think of his name.
Is it from
Dick
NXT?
Joseph.
Oh, yeah.
I was really, because
Oh,
I
from
figured he'd
205
be
Live.
another. I figured he'd be another.
So you
cookie
watched
cutter.
205 Live?
I don't know where I saw it,
Because that's
but
what he
he
does.
was pretty good.
Yeah, I like Nigel, too. Nigel McGuinness
Nigel
is really
McGuinness,
good.
Yeah,
he's really good, too.
He's different. Yeah.
And that's why we're talking about all these other guys and not Michael Cole, the guy that's been there forever. That's a problem.
Well, the big problem they have is the man that should be doing it is sitting home on Monday night.
Who, Jim Ross?
Good old JR,
Yeah,
Jim
yeah.
Ross.
Yeah.
When we do our polls on the Twitter account with over 50,000 of our great fans, when we put up the Jim Ross or Cole, it's usually 90-10.
What about
Jim Ross hasn't been on Raw since what, 2008?
You know who else you could do too is Taz. Throw Taz in that. I would love to see what
I don't
people.
think Taz would go back, though.
No, I'm just saying if you could, like, just see what you get for opinion. I'm curious. I think Taz was great when he was on SmackDown.
He was
He
good.
made Cole listenable.
Much better. Much
He made-
better.
Yeah.
And I know this won't be a popular opinion, but JBL did too.
Yep. Oh, I totally agree.
But
Because
he-
JBL played a good heel on SmackDown. He was very good. I liked him.
It just, you can't buy into his phony enthusiasm. And you'd think when the fans continue to tune out, they are voting with their remote control not to watch, there'd be a way to sprucing things up.
I totally
And one
agree.
would be to just find ways to utilize Michael Cole that's to their advantage. And to having him do commentary over wrestling matches is not to their advantage. He's not good at it.
Huh? I totally agree.
He's professional, he's well polished, but he just doesn't fit in with what they're presenting.
Mm-hmm.
And I know Renee Young, everybody's supposed to like Renee Young because she's a woman, and she's the first full-time woman on commentator. We'll forget about Mike McGurk on Primetime Wrestling, but, for this generation, she's the first full-time woman commentator. And you know what? She's not atrocious, but when she starts going the Michael Cole route of throwing out some of those phrases and trying to do the fake selling
But
of
do you think
things,
she's fed that?
awful. She might be, but
And
she's
that's
just
why.
not good at it.
Right.
Jim Ross was fed a lot, and he
But
was
you know
very
what?
good
Corey
at it.
Graves gets on my nerves too because he says some stupid stuff too. That's why I can't just. Some of the stuff that he says is kind of annoying too. Like it's just like, did you really need to say
The
that?
only thing I'd change about him is I'd only have him on one show.
Well, that too.
And they should make up their mind if he's a heel or a face.
Right,
Because
that's
that
what I
seems
mean.
to change every week,
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
No consistency. If WWE doesn't bother to care about what they're presenting, why should the fan bother to take interest
Exactly.
in what they're doing if they know it's just going to change the next week?
Absolutely. Moving on, we had Jinder Mahal come out with a promo. He was upset he wasn't invited to Ric Flair's birthday party, so he challenged anyone out back. Would you miss this part?
Keep going.
And Kurt Angle ended up coming out.
Oh, I do remember that. Okay.
Your face, I was like, wait a minute, would you fall asleep?
I forgot about Jinder
I was like,
for
the
a
Red
minute.
Sox weren't on.
No.
Yeah, it ended up being Kurt Angle, which I still don't understand. What was that big thing that he had to tell everybody, and now he's just wrestling matches like it's nothing? But whatever. It was a decent match. Kurt didn't look too bad. Jinder's a good worker, so he carried him very well. Kurt Angle ended up winning. Poor Jinder has to do the job again.
It was a complete waste to Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
It was a needless match.
Yep.
No one cared. They didn't build it up. They didn't get it. They couldn't even pop a television rating out of it
Right.
because they didn't promote it. Angle should not be wrestling on free TV, if at all.
Right. Make it more special. I get it.
I didn't like it. But
And then moving on, we had the Moment of Bliss. Alexa Bliss had Finn Balor on it. And as soon as he started talking, your boy Leo Rush came out, basically spilled give Bobby Lashley another shot at the IC title, all that. Finn Balor ended up challenging Leo. They end up having a match, Leo versus Finn. Finn won, but man, Leo's really good. He's very good. He doesn't look smaller with those, even though Finn's not a good comparable person. Just in the ring, like he doesn't slow down match. You know what I mean?
Yep.
He looks like he belongs, which I like. He looks very good in the ring, and I thought it was a great match.
2 world-class athletes. Finn Balor is
Absolutely.
one of the best professional wrestlers in the world right now. Leo is one of the most exciting cruiserweights. And I know it may not be the most popular opinion, but I think he's done a lot to put a fresh coat of paint on Bobby Lashley. I think that
Absolutely.
turn has come too soon if they decide to separate them for good into what's looking like one of the worst factions in the history of professional wrestling, on par with the League of Nations. But that's jumping ahead a little bit.
Okay, and then from there we went. They were like rolling. If you notice it, they were rolling right into other matches, and it was Bobby Lashley.
I don't
versus,
like that.
Yeah, I don't know who's
I don't
behind
like
that.
that.
Maybe it was our boy Bruce Pritchard. He might have added that little sting.
No,
to-
that's not
But
new
that,
to
it
this
seemed like
week.
it was really fast. Like it was like one after the other, and I was like, wow, they don't give no time. Like literally, one guy's walking up the ramp, the other guy's coming out. It just was happening a lot. But anyways, Bobby Lashley versus Braun Strowman.
Why waste? I think that was
Yeah,
the first time
that's
they
what I
ever
was
met.
gonna just say. I have that written.
Pay-per-view match wasted on
Yeah.
Raw.
And it didn't
No
even,
build-up.
Well, what they're going to get
Nobody
away with
cared.
is no one ended up winning the match. Remember, Braun it never started. The match never started, and he just destroyed everybody. So that's what they're going to say.
Where there are so few fresh matches they have, I'm big on them being saved for pay-per-view events. One man's opinion.
Yeah. Oh, I totally agree. Then we had a backstage segment with Seth Rollins. He just went over how happy he was
Yeah, he
for
was
Seth
thrilled.
Rollins. You know, it was good. I mean, hey, you know, you got to have him on TV because he can't wrestle right now because he is hurt. They said so. He's trying to get rest before he.
And even if
wrestles.
he was healthy, why have him wrestle?
Right, which is good, but I'm just saying
Make
that's the reason
people
why it
wanna
was
see it.
something. Yeah, it was definitely good. Then we went from there. We went Dean Ambrose versus Drew McIntyre. It was a good match. I mean, good flow. Drew's great.
You know what my thought was when I was watching it?
Uh-oh, what's that?
Again? No, not for the match.
Oh, okay.
Just seeing Ambrose come out. Again?
Again, yeah.
You know, you don't need, when you have a roster that big, you can do things with different people.
Right. Oh, I get it. I mean, I get it. It ended up, what do you call it? Drew ended up winning the match with Corbin and Lashley coming out, obviously. Like you said, the new League of Nations or whatever you want to call it.
Awful.
Yeah.
And they added Elias to it,
Yeah, exactly.
who was feuding with all of them.
Oh, I know. I
You
don't know.
A couple weeks ago, you know what? Who cares?
Yeah.
You know.
After that, but going into the match, at least at the end, was a great moment. I didn't know if Roman was going to be able to do anything.
Oh, yeah, right.
See,
Okay.
wow. Anyway,
We've got a lot going on in our world.
I was gonna
It was
say,
far more
you're forgetting
important
everything.
than another throwaway Raw.
all right, well,
not to be
I know
cruel,
it was
but
a good Raw. I thought it was
it
a
was,
good
you
Raw.
know what? Again, that was a bit of a cheap
Okay.
shot. It was a really good show.
Anyway, Seth and Roman ended up coming out and helping Dean,
Yeah.
which was kind of cool. But like, here we go again. What's going on now? Are they back? Like, you know. But I thought it was a good moment because I honestly didn't think Roman was clear in remission. But I didn't know if he could go. But he actually did the Superman punch, and I'm like, he's not going to do a spear, and he did the spear, and I'm like, wow, he really can go now. It was really good to see him.
The big money for them right now is in the Shield. People like them together.
Yeah, they do.
They are more valuable together than apart.
What do you think we're going to get? The 3 versus the 3? Or 3 versus 4?
WrestleMania?
No, for
Oh.
Fastlane.
Oh,
You know, this
to
week
be
on Raw.
honest, I really don't care.
Yeah, I know.
It'll be forgotten about the next night.
Right, yeah.
A 6-man wouldn't be bad, though. I think that would generate a little more interest
Yeah, and
in the
Elias
show.
would be the
Looking
odd-
at it from a business point of view, I think that would be good for the Fastlane
Or
show and for ticket
do
sales.
we get Kurt Angle joining the Shield against the F4?
No,
I'm just being funny because remember last year.
you never know, but
Right. I was just saying. But moving on, we had Bayley versus Nia Jax. I mean, I do want to say something about this. You told me the women's tag team titles weren't going to go, but man, the crowd was popping hot for them at Elimination Chamber, which we didn't get to cover, but they loved it. And every time they come with those tag team titles, the crowd's actually giving it a good excitement now. They're not just flat. They're excited about it.
you, my friend, are falling for WCW logic all over again.
What's that?
Hulk Hogan comes to the Nassau Coliseum, sells
Here we
the
go.
place out.
Yeah.
It's atrocious.
No, it's not.
Next time they come back to the Nassau Coliseum, they draw half a house.
No.
Hogan still gets the biggest reaction.
Yeah, but-
though. What is wrong?
You just
They
don't
come
want it
back
to work.
again.
That,
Whoa,
it's
whoa, whoa,
good.
whoa, let me finish.
Oh, my
I try
God.
not to interrupt you, even when I get wound up. They come back again a few months later after another atrocious Nitro. Well, there's 2,000 people here, but Hulk got the biggest pop. So you can listen to the reaction of those few, or I shouldn't say few, this certainly isn't WCW stage bad, but it is not good with the declining business metrics across the board when it comes to their popularity. TV ratings, licensing, merchandising, ticket sales, and Should the fans react good that go? You'd hope so. But why are fewer fans willing to spend their money on it? That's the problem. I think it's the women are overdone. It's a novelty right now. It's new that they have these women's tag team titles. You know, it's a feel-good moment because they're women, and oh, they tried so hard. Here, you're not good enough to have the world titles. You know what? Here, you can have these props, and you know what? Because we don't have enough women to have a whole division. You know, we'll let you wrestle on all the promotions with the tag team titles. And to me, it's nauseating. I'm glad for the fans of women's wrestling that they like it. I don't like it. I like Sasha Banks. I'm happy for her as a human being. As far as the me that has two eyes that enjoys watching wrestling, there is nothing about it I enjoy.
Well, that's
awful.
No.
When Bayley comes up, that is, you want to talk about, and again, this is going to sound like I'm attacking the poor girl. It's not. It's a problem with the entire system as is. To try and present this product to anyone over the age of 8, to have Bayley come out, the 18-year-old looking girl that gives hugs with those giant floats that bob from side to side. I mean, who do they think wants to see that? Again, if they had an all-woman show, fine. If they had a show that was meant for little kids, I think she'd be phenomenal. But to send her out at 10:15 at night, you know, it's an embarrassment. It is and I'm telling you this, the you that enjoyed wrestling during the Monday Night Wars would have said, this is an embarrassment. For you, 20 years from now, you'll be talking about, now, what about T.L. Harper before Vince Russo took over? This is T.L. Harper.
Well, here's the thing. I know you're so against you. You're never gonna like it. I get that.
I like it when I can say that was a good match.
It was a great elimination chamber for the
It was awful.
No, it was
those
great.
Australian girls in there doing comedy skits in a match that was built around violence and blood.
It was great.
A joke. It's why such few fans decided to dedicate.
You just have this big hatred towards women's wrestling.
Do you think that
those
belonged
two
in an
girls worked
elimination
their butt
chamber?
off? They worked their ass off.
Anyone can work hard. That's one thing you can't take away from anybody.
They deserve
but
it.
What they do is not good.
It is good.
All right, well.
It all depends who they're working, and they work good.
What was good? The match? Sucked.
What?
Elimination chamber.
No, it didn't.
Terrible. An embarrassment.
No.
Well, I'm going to tell you this. I'm glad there are people that do like it. You can't deny that WWE
That
is
crowd
making
was
a lot
hotter
of money.
than hell when they were after that match, because they could have
Did it sell out?
They could have poo-pooed all over it. That's not just the match that was there. You can't just blame it on the girls.
But
with
if
the
it was
tickets
so good.
And that's what I want to say is you said they're not selling. They just got the tag team titles not even a month ago. Let's see 6 months from now if it helps out.
It was a big, historic first.
It was.
The first women's tag team Hell in a Cell.
It was.
And nobody cared.
Everybody cared.
But I would have liked to have seen a sold-out crowd.
And when those titles are defended
for a
at
big gimmick
WrestleMania,
pay-per-view.
that's going to be a huge moment too.
The kickoff show.
Yeah. No, the Andre Battle Royal thing will be the kickoff show. You know
the
that.
Not
And then the
Fabulous Moolah
Cruiserweight.
Battle Royal.
And then the Cruiserweight.
And the Cruiserweight.
So those two.
4 this year.
Yeah, probably.
They'll have a 3-hour kickoff show.
We're never
instead.
going to agree with it, so I hate arguing with you about it. But here's the thing:
I don't want to dislike it as much as I do.
And what's wrong with them wrestling on all 3 shows? What's wrong with that?
Here is a company right now that must have 612 different titles across all of their brands.
Here we go.
Why is it that the women's tag team title is the only one that can be defended on every show? It has nothing to do with even it being women. If you told me the guys' tag team title was the only one that could be defended across 4 different shows, I'd say that's ridiculous.
They're adding something different because you never know if Bayley and Sasha will show up. I like it. I think it's pretty cool. Like they showed up at NXT.
I'm sorry. I'm trying.
No.
I'm trying.
You're wrong. Because if you go to NXT at Full Sail, you never know. And what did they do? They showed up the last tapings. It was cool. Just a little moment. You know, it's fun. What's wrong with having some fun in wrestling?
I think wrestling should be fun.
Right.
Just
Let
not
me
with
ask you
stupidity.
this. When was the last time you were excited about a pay-per-view? Not including WrestleMania. Like, I mean, like, all right, I'm going, or all right, I can't wait for Sunday night.
For a non-WrestleMania?
Yeah, obviously.
Including NXT or
not the Big Four. Not the Big Four. How about that?
What about, can I include an NXT or not?
Yeah.
I like the Phoenix one.
All
I
right,
was looking
but
forward to that.
Other than that? Because
I generally like the NXT pay-per-views, but that's because I know a lot of the people on them. I'll take out of my personal like out of it.
Not personal, like when you were just
You
watching.
want to know the last time I was actually generally interested in a match that wasn't on a Well, outside of the Big Four? was the Undertaker Lesnar Hell in a Cell. I thought they did a great build-up to that, and that was, what, October 2015? Mm-hmm. So it's been a while.
Right. And that's my point, is that it's, you know, it's hard to get excited for these things and for the titles to sell. Like, it's just in general, man. They're not going to sell it like it was before, and I don't know why. It's just what the fan, I don't get the fans nowadays. I just don't. I don't understand them.
This is the problem that was going on. It's a much better problem as far as what they're dealing with in 2019 than they were dealing with in the mid-90s, but they were continuing to turn fans off by the product they presented in the mid-90s. You had some guys that were over very strong, some guys that did good merchandise, great merchandising numbers, like Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, Undertaker. But the package as a whole, the fans turned from it. It affected at that time, when they had pay-per-view buys, is the indicator of popularity, nosedived. Live attendance was, people can talk about how it is now.
Right.
You're talking about they were running Monday Night Raw in high school gyms at times.
Yeah, no, I get it.
In the mid-90s.
But
so it's just, the overall package
came and
right
saved
now
it?
is, well, please, let me finish my thought. We can go there if you want. The overall package was something the fans gave it the thumbs down to, and they moved on to different ventures. There's a lot of wrestling fans from the 1980s that wish they had that show to enjoy. And right now, you're at a point where you have fans from the 80s and those that came back for the Monday Night Wars and the Attitude Era that wish they had their wrestling they could sink their teeth into without rolling their eyes at it. There's a generation of fans right now that never lived through the boom era of the 80s. They never lived through the Attitude Era of the Monday Night Wars. So to them, this is great. This is the only wrestling they ever know. Those are the ones that really seem to enjoy it now. When I go to the live events, I see a lot of people get up and go to the bathroom when the women come out. I speak to friends, casual fans, my own age, that aren't as into it as we are, that'll watch around WrestleMania time and whatnot, and they don't like the overflow of the women's matches. It's not just me.
I don't know.
What is the one thing, as these numbers continue to plummet, is consistent.
What was up last week?
They push the... I'm not talking about week to week. I'm talking about if you look at year to year.
Oh, yeah, no, I get it.
What is the one consistent in some of these big drops? Women, 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 women.
I don't know about that. I think.
It'd be great. Oh, you know what? Geez, I'm not going to say that. But
what?
no, it didn't have anything to do with wrestling. But you know how some of my comments can be. We'll save that for off the air. But
okay.
I think if you get back to presenting a more focused male product with focused characters, with storylines that are consistent week to week, with title changes that are done and paced well to the point where they actually mean something to the fans, with storylines and vendettas that are built up, with good, effective promos that aren't scripted and sound like they're just being read and produced week after week, along with some good, high-quality women's wrestling, I guarantee you every metric that I've talked about that's gone down would go up. I'm not saying you're going to have a new Attitude Era, but they would certainly go up.
You could just hire that guy home. That's at home right now. That guy, give him a shot.
I said to you the other day, I know you were trying to get me irritated,
but
absolutely. I was not wrong. I think...
Yeah, I was actually listening to some today, and he had a good point.
Let's hear
it. Just this
You're
one thing.
talking about Vince Russo,
right.
if you have no idea.
One thing that he said today, and I know, and I just asked you it, but I'm going to say again, what I just asked you, was when was the last time you were actually excited?
Oh, that was this question? Okay.
And it's true. The last time I was like, oh my God, was probably that where I was like, oh my God, I can't wait for this whole card. Because they were talking about St. Valentine's Massacre. Like they were just talking about how people were excited and Dave Meltzer poo-pooed all over and there was 19,000 people there. Like he was just, because they...
I remember looking forward to that show.
They read the torch and what he said and he was just, you know, it wasn't Japan, so it sucked the whole show.
I had a house full of people that night.
But you know what I'm saying?
That were excited to see that
But when's the last
show?
time you did all that stuff too? Is back then.
Oh my God.
That's what I'm saying. So for him, let's get him back in there, baby.
My point with him, I've said it before, I'll say it again, for a guy to pick his brain for ideas, there is nothing wrong with that. The problem with him is if you have him around full time, he cannot write out a storyline or complete a storyline. If you look at individual episodes of Raw, of WCW, of TNA, there are some great episodes where you can say, wow, that stuff was really good. I want to watch the next one. Then, when you actually tune into the show, it makes no sense. It doesn't even look like the show that it was the week before.
True. That whole, what do you call it?
Well,
That whole Rock Corporation was such a played-out great storyline, one of the best storylines ever.
Which one?
When The Rock ended up turning on and went to the corporation. That was such a great storyline, the whole entire thing. There was a start, middle, and ending to it. That was fantastic, that whole entire thing. I don't know what
That's
you're
one.
Right, but that was one of the biggest ones. That dragged for almost, 6 to 8 months? That was fantastic. You know, you can't remember. Remember, he only wrote for 3 years.
And he was also one person that was part of a team effort.
There was no team. It was him and Ed Ferrara. And then Vince McMahon put a little
No,
even.
Vince McMahon had nothing to do with his own
I was just
show
going to say,
every
if
week.
Vince McMahon put if it was a 9.5, he'd make it a 10. He even admits to that. But that was it. There wasn't a room full of 37 writers like there is now.
I've said before, the people that knock him go a little bit overboard, and he pats himself on the back a little
He
too
doesn't
high.
pat himself on the back, but he uses the numbers. When was wrestling great? When were they drawing their best numbers?
The 80s.
Oh, you see, you live in the 80s.
They
That's the
were.
problem. No.
Well, let me ask you this. If they drew bigger numbers in the 80s, if the numbers were bigger in the 80s, how can you say the ones in the 90s were bigger?
We're talking about from now to then, though, from comparing it to back when.
Well, obviously then.
That's
the
what I'm
late
saying,
90s.
because it's always continued to go down. At least it went up again from the 80s when he was writing, because it went down for a little bit from the 80s and then
Fair
went back
enough.
up. And then where is it? Has it ever gone up ever since?
No.
Right. It's declined like this. It's
I
literally.
mean, you've seen some tiny, tiny blips, but nothing
right.
significant.
And that's all I'm saying is that it's been, but whatever.
I've said if I was Vince McMahon, I would not be opposed to bringing him in as some kind of a consultant to give ideas. As far as having him actually put together storylines, no.
Well, hopefully
'Cause
Shane
they would
McMahon, because
mean
him and
nothing.
Shane McMahon had a nice
We'd have
conversation.
3 or 4 title changes a week. We'd have 3
No.
or 4
All right.
heel
Now
turns
you're just
a
okay.
week.
We're done talking. You're just gonna be
All
doing
right,
the low
well.
blows. All I know is Shane McMahon and him had a nice conversation for about 2 hours last week. Hopefully, it had something to do with something.
If they want to make those 2 shows different, I would say make Vince Russo the consultant for one of the 2, Raw or SmackDown. I wouldn't put him anywhere near NXT.
Well, he doesn't need to be. NXT's a great product.
No, exactly.
You know what I mean? It's a great product. No one needs to touch that because I don't know who's writing that show, but they need to get those writers brought up. They're fantastic.
But no, I for the people that don't like Vince Russo, I think there's a place for him.
Absolutely.
He's passionate and cares about the business.
Well,
He doesn't need to continue to talk about himself constantly.
all right. Okay. Well, we're going to move on. We're going to go to the last part of Raw, which was
All
the
right.
celebration of Ric Flair, his 70th birthday. We had Triple H and Steph come out, then HBK, Ricky Steamboat, Kurt Angle, and Sting. They all came out.
Where was his big legacy with Kurt Angle?
I don't know.
Was there one that I didn't remember?
I don't know. I think he was just thrown out there because he was like, "Oh, you're here. I could go out." And then they had a nice promo package, which was nice.
I'll tell you this, nobody does the video packages better than WWE.
That was nice.
Nobody.
And then after the package, Triple H said, "Let's bring the man out." And all of a sudden, they play the music, and all of a sudden, we get shot into the screen, and there he is. He's back, baby. The Animal, Dave Bautista, dragging the cameraman, shutting the door, then dragging Ric Flair out, and then Hunter, I hope I got your attention now. Oh, man, I had goosebumps up to here. I was pumped to see him back finally. It was great. It was a great way to end Raw, too, just because we don't know what's going to go now. I think it's great.
I think I was messaging with you either that night
Yeah,
or
you
the
were.
day after, and I said, in 2014, they bring him back. No one wanted to cheer him, and they made him a babyface. 2019, they bring him back. No one wants to boo him, and they make him a heel. But my thought about it is, after it was played ad nauseum on SmackDown for some reason, you never really saw Batista put his hands on Flair.
Right.
What if there was someone else in the room? What if Batista was saving Flair from fill in the blank? I don't know.
That, I know what you're saying. I didn't think that that's actually pretty good. But what I was thinking is that I think it's a different kind of heel to Batista. This one, I think people can get behind a little bit. The people that want to boo him instead of just booing him, that don't want to. Because there's actually some kind of story here. Before it was just, DB was so hot. No one wanted to see him. I mean, that was just it wasn't the right time. I mean, am I right? Daniel Bryan,
Sure.
nobody
That was
wanted
his
Daniel
time.
Bryan. So this time it might work because there's a story there and everybody loves Ric Flair, and all that.
But everybody knows they're best buddies. No one's going to believe in it.
Which is true.
Again, if the fans can't believe in it, they're not going to have as much interest
We'll
in
see.
it.
That's why I'm excited to see
I'm
what
not
happens.
going to decimate it
Right,
yet.
we gotta see.
Because I think there's more than meets the eye.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. We got to see. That's why I don't want to say anything, because it might work because of what they got.
If it's as simple as Batista came back and attacked Flair,
Yeah.
now Triple H is going to take Shane's role as Stone Cold to avenge Rick, like Stone Cold did with JR, no, that's not the best use of
I
this
don't think. I think
talent.
that hopefully the writers have something in plan or something.
And the other flip side of the coin, very happy to see Dave Bautista back in any
Absolutely.
way, shape, or form.
Absolutely.
People can say, make some personal remarks after things he wrote in his book, and that's fine. But as far as the man goes that has contributed to wrestling and the man that cares about wrestling the way he does, I think every fan should be happy to have Bautista back.
Absolutely. And that's Raw for this week.
All right, so I'm hearing that music from above us. You know the road is coming. Right now, take a brief time out. Be back after this brief time out.
Cleveland on Sunday, March 10th. WWE superstars go full throttle on the road to WrestleMania at WWE Fastlane pay-per-view.
You better believe Kofi, Bryan,
A supercharged battle for the WWE Championship. And
the best tag team in the world is now the Usos.
but Shane McMahon and Cleveland's own The Miz are on a collision course for the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. It's WWE Fastlane in Cleveland Sunday, March 10th. Tickets are available.
Wrestling fans, welcome back to Wrestling Insiders. We're reviewing all the news that's fair to air from Raw and SmackDown this week. We talked about Raw from Hotlanta, GA. On a scale of 1 to 10, what would you give that one?
With the return and Roman Reigns and everything, 8.
I think we agree. I'd give that about an 8, too.
Yeah.
That was the better episode in Elon.
Absolutely.
And
I
then
thought
we
so.
had SmackDown, live from Charlotte, North Carolina.
Woo! Ric Flair country, right?
Or as Cecil the Lion would say,
Okay. Well, we kicked it off with Shane, Steph, DB, Eric Rowan in the ring. And they showed a nice little Kofi package, from the start. I thought that was very nice. If people didn't know who Kofi was or just tuning in, only seen the New Day Kofi or whatever, I thought it was good to see. They showed like his ECW when he first started out and everything like that. I thought it was really good. And then Kofi came out with the New Day. Everybody's excited, and they were really chanting for him. And then Vincent Kennedy McMahon came and spoiled the party.
to reenact just about the same angle that they're doing with the women's title match at WrestleMania.
Right. I get it. I'm not going to disagree.
I roll them.
And we had the returning of KO because that man is the man that needs to be in the match against Daniel Bryan, according to Vince McMahon. And you know what's funny is the crowd, once they found out it was KO, popped for it.
Yeah.
They popped for it. They were like, oh, wait a minute. It's KO. Wait a minute. No, it's okay. It's okay. You know what I mean? And Kofi sold it well, like being upset and everything, like, just distraught. But like we were saying, I wouldn't be surprised if they do Kofi versus Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania still
That's
after
the hot
this.
hand.
You
know what? And I've said before recently, I have not been able to unearth what the SmackDown title match is. I hope they go with the hot hand. And the person in me that likes Kofi Kingston an awful lot, but both Kofi and Bryan competed here in the Millennium Wrestling Federation. But, I hate to say it, from just someone that's worked in wrestling and around wrestling, I don't think that video package actually helped them.
No. I just liked it because
just
it showed fans that didn't
kind
know.
of a small, thin guy that did acrobatic stuff. It didn't come off like main event material to me.
Well, the
Does
only thing
make
that I
any
like,
sense?
yeah, I do get it, but the only thing I did like is at least they put his IC title win in there, his US title,
Yeah,
so they showed me
yeah.
he was a champ before. And I know what you're saying because they showed him in the Royal Rumble doing the Hanson, all that stuff. But I just like it because, some fans just tuned in for the New Day, like only know the New Day Kofi
Right.
or just the recent stuff. At least they showed him from back then too. But I do get what you're saying because other than that, they showed like athletic stuff and nothing really of any, like you can sink your teeth into.
And as I noted to you during our tech session last night, not like your Tinder ones.
Oh, right.
Regular
Yeah, definitely.
tech sessions.
Absolutely. No sexting.
Why was Kevin Owens on SmackDown when he was on the Raw brand?
And what I say, I guess
It
when you
just-
get hurt,
they just
you become
take-
a free agent.
Castrate their own draft and superstar shakeup. They mean nothing because they'll just throw you wherever you need it, just like with Kane.
Well,
and
I
Big
think
Show and-
from what it looks like, if you get hurt, you're automatically a free agent,
laughed
and then
at
they
that
say
line.
which.
Yep.
I mean, that's the only thing I can see because look at what happened.
They're going to start doing that in sports now. Aaron Judge is going to get hurt next year in the Yankees, and he's going to become a free agent and show up with the Red Sox.
Red Sox, yeah.
It's just that type of laziness.
Right, I get it.
Don't like.
I get it. I
It
totally
didn't
do.
make sense. I mean, did it freshen up the show? Sure. Was it a good thing for Owens? Probably. But is the fan watching it? I just say to myself, he was drafted by Raw. Why isn't there some sort of an explanation as to why he's here? Other than Vince McMahon brought him on, the same guy who headbutted him and made him bleed a year ago.
Well, the only thing I think
Oh.
of is because they put the vignettes on Raw and SmackDown, so you never knew. That's the only thing I was like, that's, whatever.
It's just a problem that hurts them.
And then we had our first match of the night, Cesaro and Sheamus versus the Hardy Boys, the returning of Delete, Delete.
I
know
told
you
you
loved
what
it.
happened. Delete got deleted.
Yeah, it did. It did. He tried to do it though.
Yeah,
He tried to throw it in there.
It's like,
he came back in great shape though.
Honestly,
he looks
did.
really good.
Him trying to push the delete reminded me of fans in maybe 2003, 2004 that was still chanting, "We want puppies."
Yeah.
They were a little past the time.
They're from North Carolina?
Yeah.
So that's what I figured. That's what I put in why they would probably, put them in that match too.
That is the best he's looked in years.
Absolutely. He looked really good,
yeah. Enough of the nonsense. I know it's fun.
What did you call it? The Halloween costume?
It was like he was dressed up for Halloween. Everybody knows he's Matt Hardy.
Oh,
but
man.
no, put him out there dressed up like an idiot. The fans react. They won't watch it on TV for free. They won't pay for a ticket to see it. The merchandise apparently didn't do so well. They'd still be pushing that stuff.
Yeah.
But you know what? Now it's back to normal. We'll pretend all the delete shit didn't happen.
He'll try to do it in the matches. Nobody will know what's going on because they're not going to obviously promote it. Hardy's won, and like you were saying, I kind of hope they build to like maybe an Usos match at WrestleMania. I think that'd be
That'd be great, and it'd be different.
Absolutely.
Fresh.
Then we went to a backstage segment with Lana. She was looking at Ricochet and Aleister Black, telling him, like, what's so special about you? All I know about that whole segment I got is Lana is a smoke show. She is smoking hot in that leather costume she was wearing. Unreal.
Well, I've always liked Lana in that regards.
But she's... Other than that,
Again, Ricochet and Aleister Black together is just kind of lazy.
Because they don't know what to do with them yet.
Same thing with Shinsuke and Rusev, you could say, where they were just feuding with each other.
But they're not bad
television,
together.
too.
At least they're like making it work.
They're
You know what I
both
mean?
foreign, I guess,
Right.
so it kind of fits, right? And I guess Lana went the route of Crush and Kofi Kingston's accent. That kind of got deleted too.
Yeah, huh?
Yeah, well, it happens.
All right, and then we went to my favorite part of the night, I think, was the U.S. Open Challenge with R-Truth and Carmella.
Yeah.
And, of course, before the match started, we had to have our famous dance break, We had to have the dance break, and then
that was good.
Andrade came out, which he isn't Cialis anymore. He's just Andrade. They dropped the Cialis now, so he's no more of that anymore. And then Ray came out. They did this thing. R-Truth got on the mic and said, what would John Cena do and all that. So he ended up facing both of them. It was a good match. R-Truth ended up winning with the roll-up. He keeps the title. I hope he honestly keeps it until WrestleMania so he can defend it at WrestleMania.
What more can you say as far as the disconnect with the fan base to the product, that they're pushing R-Truth as a champion?
What's wrong with that?
The job of the majority of his career.
No, he had a nice little run in, 14 with the title, 13. Remember he was going to wrestle John Cena for the title and everything? He was dressed as like Paul.
2011.
Yeah, okay, yeah. But he had a little bit. It wasn't a joke then.
Notice how short-lived that run was.
I think they gave up on it.
They let him work The Rock, and it died so bad.
Right, but they gave
there
him...
went his push.
Hey, you know what, though?
They let him wrestle The Rock.
Hey, what I'm saying is, do I think he's WWE Championship material? No, but I think he's a great U.S.
He
IC
shouldn't
champion.
beat anyone other than an undercard talent. Why would you waste Rey Mysterio and/or Andrade losing in a match to him?
Like I told you through text, I think it was more to furthermore the story of Rey and Andrade.
Could you not have done it with those two wrestlers?
It's to get R-Truth on the card to make the U.S. because he hasn't been on TV for 2 weeks. Same thing with Rusev and Nakamura. They haven't been on TV for so long.
Could you not have put them in there, the two of them in there, to further their storyline with a more credible opponent?
I think he's credible.
No.
And people like him.
He has no credibility.
All right. To you,
he's
he doesn't.
Fun.
To you.
He's a fun second match of the
to you,
card
he
guy.
doesn't. To you, he doesn't have credibility.
I mean, he did. The fans get into his singing.
Yeah, crowd gets into him.
He's a
and they
second
love
match of the
Carmella,
card guy.
so he's worth it.
No.
He gets a reaction. It's all about reactions. You know that.
No. It is not about reactions. It's about what fans are willing to pay to see.
How do you know they're not paying to see that? How do you? Hey, you don't know that.
I'm not even going to humor that with the response.
Exactly. Thank you.
Next.
And we're going to go on. Anyways, like I said, from there we had Charlotte coming out.
I feel like I've heard that promo now about 15 weeks
she
in a
called
row.
herself the gold standard. Where's Sheldon
Shelton
Benjamin?
yeah,
right, I thought of that right. And he's the guy that's
Shelton-
not on the crowd.
Shelton.
He was probably like, hey, at least I'm getting my name kind of on the show because
I'm
that's.
going to bet knowing Shelton, I'd bet $1 that was not his reaction.
Oh, no, obviously not. But you know what I'm saying. So she came out, talked a little bit, had a little promo. Other than that,
I'm surprised Becky didn't run through the crowd with crutches and attack her.
they must have took your opinion saying, stop doing that now.
She was arrested.
Yeah, she was
that
arrested.
was one of those real
She had the
arrests.
mugshots. Did you see the mugshots? Oh,
I
yeah,
did,
she was in the county jail.
Why in professional wrestling do they find the need to do angles where the people are arrested?
Oh,
Nobody believes in it.
All right.
When the big boss man sent the Mountie to jail in SummerSlam 91, that was August, so I was still 10 years old. I did not believe it. And here we are now, pushing 30 years later. I don't believe it. I have no interest in it being presented as foolish and phony. Not like my good friend Cecil the Lion.
Right.
But anyway.
And then we went to the Aleister Black, Ricochet versus Rusev and Nakamura. It was actually, they're great teams. They are great teams. They work great together. But like you said, the match is just...
I think what you had was 4 really good talents just
Right.
kind of thrown together.
But it was great teams. Like they work
good.
good. Yeah, it was a good match. Aleister and Ricochet won again. I guess they're pushing. I don't know if they're going to push them as a tag team or what. They're just trying to get them on the card.
For
but
all of those people that were expecting big things out of the Rusev-Aiden English feud, that
Aiden does great on 205 Live, though. He's a good commentator.
great.
He's fantastic. You need to watch it. And then we had my favorite thing of the night. One of my other favorite things of the night was backstage promo with AJ and Randy. I think that could be definitely a great feud if they end up doing that. Did you see that?
That could have been a WrestleMania main event.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If they end up doing something, I don't know what they're going to do with that.
That's a feud that I think would have much more value with the title involved than without.
Yeah,
One
and that's
man's
true.
opinion.
But they're probably trying to do it without the title scene if they can. I don't know.
I think that'll come off flat.
You
And
think
I don't
so?
know why, but that's just
regardless,
my gut.
I liked it a lot. I thought it was really good because AJ's like the man that SmackDown, and then Randy was like, wait a minute, I'm here. You know, I'm a veteran.
Yeah.
I've been here for a while. I thought it was kind of cool what they did.
It was a good interaction.
Good promo.
I just think I would hold, if it was me, I would hold off on doing a long run, a big feud with them, until the title's in play. I don't know why. It just doesn't
And you don't
feel...
see DB losing that title before WrestleMania to one of these guys, right? No, okay. So, yeah, I get what you're saying. And then we had our main event of the night, Kevin Owens and Kofi versus Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan. Good match. I mean, you know, great workers. Kale looked good. He didn't look like he lost a step. I mean, he's always delivers a pretty good match.
For a man that wrestles in a T-shirt, he looked in about as good a shape as I've seen him.
And he's got that new ink on him, too. I'm surprised.
It made him look a little more badass,
Yeah, and then KO and Kofi won. And they actually didn't. I thought there would have been some kind of, turn or anything, but no.
Well, that'll be next week.
Yeah, exactly. But that was SmackDown. Do you have anything
What
for the
would
main
you
event?
give SmackDown?
Oh, definitely probably 6.
Probably what I'd give it 2. I'll tell you this is the first time I can remember in forever that on our Twitter poll, Raw really outdistanced SmackDown in the thumbs up.
And the reason why is I think you didn't put time into any, like some of the things just were like too much promo this week, I think. Too many promos, like that long
Well,
thing.
it's kind of tough when you have so many angles you need to try and build for Mania.
Right.
And that's only a 2-hour show.
Yep.
They have to try and, I hate to use the word cram everybody in, but
They literally did.
cram everybody in, and that's what you get. Well, I hear the music again.
Yep.
We're going to take a brief time out. We'll be back. Let's wrap up the show. Stand by.
Minneapolis, this Saturday, March 2nd. Feel the thrill of WWE Live on the road to WrestleMania as AJ Styles collides with Daniel Bryan for the WWE Championship. Plus, Asuka and Charlotte Flair battle for the SmackDown Women's Championship. And don't miss the New Day and many more. It's the WWE Live Road to WrestleMania Tour this Saturday, March 2nd. Tickets are available now.
Wrestling fans, welcome back. It's been another great episode of Wrestling Insiders. More to come this week with you and I when we talk about the latest news. Also don't forget, next week, we're going to have fresh Wrestling Insiders episodes. Not only us, Mr. USA Tony Atlas will be taping more content this Friday night here at MWF Studios. And on Fastlane Sunday, full-length Memories and Legends, Tony Atlas takes us behind the scenes of the 2006 WWE Hall of Fame ceremony in Chicago, Illinois, when Tony was inducted with Bret the Hitman Hart, the late Eddie Guerrero, the Fridge, Refrigerator Perry, Sensational Sherry, Vern Gagne, another wrestler that murdered someone.
Wow.
That's a different story for a different time.
Absolutely.
But we already taped that episode. It's a lot of fun. I can't wait for fans to be able to sink their teeth into it. The fan response to Tony Atlas on Memories and Legends is really surprising us, and that's a great thing. But again, if we want to keep the gravy train rolling, baby, you got to open up that wallet a little bit. People say, why don't we get the full screen? Why do we get the ads? That's because you get this for free. And we love it for free because we need you to like, share, and subscribe on YouTube. But more than anything, we need to have those dollars rolling in. I have always been a person that does not believe in trying to ask high. I believe in asking many. Because if everybody contributes a little, it all adds up and we can get the job done just as much if we have 1 or 2 high rollers spending big. But if you want to spend big, folks, check out the eBay page. We got a wide variety of wrestling memorabilia there for your purchase in consideration, including many of these beautiful items on this set, including the NXT TakeOver Phoenix, one of only 100 signed in Phoenix by all 12 featured superstars that night. Head on over to eBay. I've got the pin on, Bang 316, thanks to our great friends at Crimson Mask, at crimsonmask. I think it's bigcartel.com. Wouldn't it be nice if I could remember it? And again,
Absolutely.
I couldn't read this script if my life depends on it. What else did I forget? Did I forget any of the cheap plugs? I think we got it all in except for WrestleCon. We still have announcements to make for WrestleCon. Tony Atlas is not going to be with us. Tony and I will be talking more about that, as you'll see on video. And can I throw out one more? A teaser
Absolutely.
almost?
Do it.
WrestleMania Sunday. An announcement that fans here in the Boston area have been waiting for quite a while now. We're going to call it a town hall meeting. You can watch for free online. I'm ready, baby.
I'm ready too.
All right, for Mr. Tinder himself, I'm Dan Marotti. Get ready. Look for another episode this week where we discuss the latest headlines in the world of professional wrestling. You and yours be well.